was made for a time like this. But how do I know that this is for me and this is my purpose? That's why I pray for major blessings. I pray God guided me safely through my adolescence. Went through many trials and I learned many lessons. Even when I was lost, I had faith and I stayed with it. And I finally found me. It was easy to do once I realized I was worth finding. Now I can see that silver lining. Only time can tell if it all goes well. Hope I make a difference before I say farewell. They say you're the best when you're homegrown, and even better from the 850.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of From Boys to Men. I'm your host, Terry, Mr. King. I'm here with my co-host,
Eddie Bunch.
Eddie Bunch is in the building, y'all. And I am grateful for our co-host, our special guest today. Man, I've been trying to get, we've asked one of my friends on here for a long time, and his brother actually came along too. So I'm so excited to introduce our special guest for today in this episode, my friends Kendall and Kenny Jordan. Go ahead and tell the people, introduce yourself to the people. Say, hey, what's up, everything, you know.
How's it going, peoples? My name's Kendall. Nice to meet y'all. I'm a good friend of Chris. I don't know how to say this. Long time coming, man. My practice is a mental health counselor. And so I've been practicing that for quite some time. So that's really what I do most of the time. Other than that, playing basketball, chilling.
Kenny here. I'm an artist based out of Pensacola. So,
yeah. Yes. So Kendall, let's talk about mental health counselor.
Absolutely.
So what role do you play with that? You like do more with like kids, or you do more like?
I've done mostly with kids. So far in my career, I've done a lot with kids. I've also done a lot with psychiatry units. So right now, my primary patients are psychiatric patients, dealing with a lot of schizophrenic, bipolar disorder. So my long-term goal is to definitely get back with kids into the school system. That's definitely where my projection in life is going towards. But right now, I'm dealing with the psyche. So.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, I know you can't discuss cases and everything, but as you see more extreme cases and everything, so like, do you see like a similarity of causes of like most people going through like depression or like getting to a point where like they like lose it?
I think here, what I've seen, just my personal take, a lot of drug induced is a natural cause of people who are going through struggling times and can't quite cope with it. If it's starting from trauma to depression, and then, as we all know, sometimes we look for coping skills and they're unhealthy and you go to substances, and, if you don't have good control of your life, sometimes it gets out of hand. And so a lot of my patients are just patients who are just like me and you, who just so happen to just kind of lost control in the substances and then, backtrack into some major depressive disorders and anxiety and trauma, and some of it's biochemical, and sometimes your brain is just wired a different way than other people, and it's definitely tough to see it sometimes because you see people and see on the streets that are very good people at heart. Go ahead.
Hi, Argos. At UWF, one of our core values is caring. Right now, this means wearing a face mask while in all buildings on campus. Help us all have a successful
It's every hour.
doing your part. Thank you.
We cut this part out. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You said good at heart, and what else?
They're good people, man. Regardless of the situation you come across, they're very good people with heart and mean well. It's just unfortunate circumstances. So.
Facts.
How did you decide to become a mental health counselor? Like, what drove you into that?
As a kid, I always enjoyed helping people. It was something that I knew I was pretty good at, just by opening a door. It made me feel good when I was having a bad day. Helping somebody kind of smile was pretty cool. As I got older, had my own issues and situations that I quite couldn't figure out. through the brain, I didn't know why I was reacting a certain way and why I saw things differently. So I was interested in why the brain did what it did and why people react a certain way. And so after basketball not working out how I planned it, you get into college, you don't know what you want to do, and run into a pretty good professor who told me that, hey, maybe social work is probably my alley, and I trusted that judgment and went forward, and it became natural. So I think just a combination of my own circumstances as a adolescent combined with just seeing what the world needs at heart kind of drove me to this direction. For sure.
I hear that. That's dope. And how do you deal with, seeing so many people going through it? Because like you said, just take one trigger, one event for us to end up looking just like that. So how do you keep that balance in your life?
Support system. As I get older, that answer changes actually. But right now, currently, a strong support system helps me keep that balance. My brother next to me is a huge key in that. My family, finding creative outlets. So when you get off work, you don't want to dive too back hard into something that you practice every day. You kind of want to go find something else to do to kind of keep your brain active, but not active in a place that you have to do 8 hours a day. So that's really where my balance kind of comes from.
I hear that.
All right. So now, Kenny. Yeah. So I know how the art thing sort of came out, but can you elaborate with the people? Because, like, I know you was great at basketball. I really felt like you should have played basketball somewhere in my eyes. Like, to me, if people who don't know or never seen you play, he'll break your ankles. He'll collect bones or whatever. But like,
he's that guy.
But like, your artwork is just as good as your basketball game. So how did you come about to just finding like your path to becoming an artist?
It's more so like one and the same. So kind of like stimulation.
Okay.
Being real young, I just realized I paid attention to like different stuff. Or if the same thing was put in front of me, I just had different questions or tried to take it to different places. So my dad played ball, so when he gave me a ball, I just did the same thing I do in art with basketball. Eventually you realize what you want to go through, what you don't want to go through, and you make certain choices. So family's big, so I always started taking care of family like at an early age, probably younger than I should have, like thinking in a different role. And so once you start kind of getting real close to family, and our family's huge,
yeah,
and we were like this growing up, so that kind of made that kind of helped me make my decisions of what I want to pursue and what I don't want to pursue. And then basketball was kind of like something that I don't know if I'm really gonna put my whole heart into this. So when you start working, trying to make a life for yourself here, like just around the city, eventually it was like, this ain't it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm about to go do some art, because I know I'm never gonna stop there. So for me, it's not a means to an end, so it's gonna be constant. So you pick something that's constant, and then you build around that. So that's how I got into art. And then how far you want to go with it?
Well, no. Also, you just touched on a part I really want to get into, because you say you got like a fatherly role early on. Because like the first time I met you, actually even seen you, was we was in Pace, and Kendall had got put down to JV, and him and Coach Alexander got into it. I think Coach Alexander got into you with your mama, and you got on the bus, and I was like, "Who is this little guy?" But I'm like, "Oh, he about to buck on Coach Alexander." So, hey, I seen like really every time I see you, I know like my whole theme in my head is like your brother's keepers, but like not even just for your brother, like certain people that you call your brother, you like they keeper, like you protector, like.
I mean, it ain't really so like that. It's just like you don't want to see nobody like get like effed over.
Yeah.
So that just happened to be the case, and then you being that close to me, it ain't really gonna go down like that. You can't take it to certain lengths or whatever like that, but you do let it be known, hey, it ain't what you think it is. And I know you can control some areas, but they ain't gonna stop what we doing. So we'll get to where we want to get to without you. And I don't really like to speak on like the whole situation entirely, but
Yeah.
it just looked like it was one sided, and that's been done to me. But I got through it. So
Yeah.
for him, it was just like, nah, you can take that loss. You be good.
So all right, I know you like both y'all are real important to each other, but how much important is your relationship with your brother, like conversation wise, the conversations y'all have? Like
It's huge.
it's huge. Like who do y'all draw from each other, or I feel like y'all do. Both y'all got different perspectives.
Yeah.
But because when I come to you, Kendall, when I come to you most of the time, I was like, I need to talk to the guru. I don't even want to come here. I was like, Kendall, hey, I need to talk to the guru real quick. But
Nah, it's not like that. I had to like witness a lot of stuff growing up, and then it got to the point where it was like, yo, you ain't got to go through that, so I'll do this so you don't have to. But then when you like life, that ain't how life works. Everybody got to go through it regardless.
Yeah.
So our relationship develops more and more when we give each other that space. So I don't press him like I used to press him.
Yeah.
I used to treat him with basketball is he was supposed to have been better. So it's like, you're gonna do this. If I did it, you're gonna do it, and I know you can understand what I'm doing. As long as you can understand it, you can kind of do it. Now it's up to you about your will. But as far as our relationship and conversations go, Kendall, he talks to people more. Like he's more sociable. So I have like strong views, and I know how to talk on views without expressing mine, but talk it like from a bunch of perspectives. So I would come to him, and he'll be like, hey, he'll butt heads. But we're just trying to get to the same place. So the more I kind of relax, let him talk, let him do his thing. We meet up when we meet up, and we chop it up there.
Yeah. I definitely can, like, growing up, it was like, looking back, I was kind of like I didn't understand him, but I understood him in like a brotherly way.
yeah,
But like the way he moved through life, it's like I don't quite understand it because
it was different.
It was different to me. Obviously he's an older brother, so he's seen more than I did, and he did a very good job of kind of making sure I didn't see or know about certain things. So as you get older, like he's saying, like I don't understand why he was so pressed on me about a lot of different things. But now I'm older, I'm like, dang, I wish I probably would have listened a little bit more.
And just want to say thank you for doing what you did.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but now that I'm older, I'm kind of like happy we didn't do that because he allowed me to have my own space as a man
and grow as a person,
and actually be able to say who I am. In high school. Yeah. Before I met y'all, like
you was
I was Kendall's brother. That was my nickname, man, going into high school.
Honestly, I knew you as like I knew you as like, all right. So freshman year, we walk in the hall, and like everybody's like, I was like, okay, he's sitting outside this class, light skinned dude. I was like, okay, what's up? It's like, oh yeah, that's Kendall Jordan. I was like, who the fuck is that? It's like, oh, he playing varsity on the basketball team. I was like, well, fuck him. I don't give a fuck. He ain't better than me. Look, I had an ego. I was an egomaniac. So like competitive wise, like I was like, yo, I ain't just gonna lay down and say anybody's better than me. But Kendall is like honestly, I feel like even if I play ball with him today, I'm gonna know where he at because I don't play with him so much now. So I already know like, all right, he's gonna be right here. I'm gonna pass on the ball. I'm gonna set him a screen. Boom. Like when you realize you don't really gotta compete with people and y'all can just be a unit and work together, just like on the basketball court. Because really, like I used to see all y'all like we used to go to the same movies. I don't know if y'all never peeped that, but Kenny actually had you on his pocket. Like you said, he protect you. He always had you with him, no matter where you was at. Because I was actually with the movies with like Zach and everything, and then after we come down the movie, I see Kenny and Ken. I was like, what the fuck? Where the fuck they coming from?
I didn't hang with y'all back in high school. I was with my brothers and brothers' friends.
But you was wiser though. Now I see it like, bro, you're more wiser and you're like more chill and more level-headed. Hence why most of the time I used to come to you, I was like, all right, a level-headed thing.
Yeah. That, like you said in that conversation, that came from my brother. Be honest with you, like came from learning how to be quiet and watch the room. and not have to talk so much. So,
Thanks.
yeah.
Hey, so let me ask y'all, how was that transition period for y'all in between being like a high school athlete, you playing a sport that you love and you want to dedicate your heart to, but you don't feel like you can really, or you know that next level might not be like attainable, I guess. So you have to find that next passion, that next step for you in your life. How did y'all navigate that? And also, how did you navigate that, knowing your little brother was going to experience it and trying to prepare him for it?
I've been through like tougher choices. So in that instance, it was just like, this how much work it takes. Can you do it? Yes. Will you do it right now? And then you weigh your options. Like I said, family was in the way, and I got to choose which one, the latter, which was like more important. So I chose family, and I did what I did around town, and that's really about it. It's nothing really complicated. It's whatever you set your mind to, that's what you're gonna do. So I didn't put my mind to it fully, so I'm not gonna do it. I knew how much it took to really get in those spaces and opportunities or whatever like that, and what you got to do. So for him, I would always like drive him on his work ethic and, hey, what you willing to do, get your emotions out the way. And so when I saw that, he would kind of lean towards his emotions or thinking about other aspects of life, I would let him know you need to have your mind like broaden your horizon on some things. So if you get to that point, I'm not saying you're not gonna break through, but if you get to that point where that's not where you're gonna be at, you're not gonna fall into some crazy depression if sports is all you knew in our area. And people kind of put that on you, sports or this, and it's like, no, they ain't really like that, and you ain't gotta listen to nobody and fall into that little mold. You can see through it. You just gotta be ready for it.
Yeah. When I was going through that transition, I think in high school, my senior year, I had got a herniated disc. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how I got it. Didn't know what happened in my senior year. I was playing travel ball, AAU basketball, experiencing the travel life of it, and seeing, what it was like to be in that atmosphere. And it was, it was cool, but emotionally I wasn't ready for that type of environment that he was trying to prepare me for. Like, emotionally wise, it's gonna have to be kind of pushed to the side in order to do that kind of work and put in that place. So come senior year, I really, emotionally, I was kind of out of it. I wasn't really prepared to the next step, but physically wise, I know I could have bounced back from an injury and stuff. So I think by the time where my mind was, I was more in a place where, all right, what's next? Like, if basketball doesn't work out, what's next to come? And so naturally you start to kind of like look for different things to do, and that's when I started realizing that, social work or helping people is more important, because there could be a kid who's younger than me is probably 10 times better than I am and may run into the exact same situation. If I can counsel him and prepare him for that, to where he doesn't have to run into that same roadblock like he was preparing me for, he might have to deal with that emotional side of the transition. He can probably break through it and just keep going in that dream, because who's to say if I didn't go through, I probably had a pretty good time in basketball, but
if you don't make that your everyday life, it ain't really gonna happen like you think it's gonna happen. You gotta find what you gonna do day in and day out.
Yeah, you gotta, like, with basketball, it's like that's it. Like, that's it. I mean, it's not so much about like you can't do other things, but your work ethic and your mindset has to be understood that this is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm not really catering to different things just yet until I have the capability of doing it. So I knew at that time I wasn't really, where my mind was, I wasn't there. As I'm an adult now, I'm happy I didn't choose that, because I think I'm better off where I'm at now, as far as like my life, where I'm at mentally and emotionally. Like, my aspect of life is 10 times better than maybe of an athlete right now, or the Kendall athlete, should I say, not any other athlete.
I know, different, because he's like different personas. You gotta, because people don't believe me. I'm like, bro, every part of your life you got a different persona that you were, a different in your head that still lives with you. So you still got the high school portion, you got the portion when you grew from whatever you went to like now. There's like so many different personas. Because think about it, every time you get around a different group of people, is like a different part of you is born. And the different time, like you let that part grow, and then once that part is grown, or you just getting tired of being in the same bubble, you go to venture onto a new part of life, and you unlock a different persona of yourself. But I knew, like Kendall, I knew he was like, trust me, y'all, he was good enough to make it. He could have went to, I think it was like Faulkner, wasn't it?
It was
Huntington. Like, don't let the hype fool you. The boy got a wet shot. He might as well be a Curry brother. But like, to be honest, y'all, like, Kendall is like a person that really is like, Kendall and Kenny is loyalty with them. And that's everything, I feel like, to them. Well, in my viewpoint, that's from my perspective. Because, like, I know if I come over there and talk to them, I'm going to get, Kenny get it on to me more than Kendall. He's like, did you come over here for the advice, or you just want me to tell me what you want to say? And then he'll kick me out. I got kicked out a couple times out of the house. And then, look, I used to get mad as hell too. I'm like, bro, this man just kicked me out of the house. Man, fuck, we trying to play 2K. You would kick me out. And I was like, bro, it's just learn. The house I learned, like, bro, I gotta respect it, because, like, end of the day, that's his house. I gotta respect his rules. I gotta respect the boundaries. And like later on in life, I more understand the boundaries that you give different people. So like, hey, you ain't made it past this part of my life, or the trust thing. You can't get into this boundary of me yet. This, that, and third. So like, I understand why I got kicked out. Look, no,
Damn fool. Man.
Yeah, man.
I used to be wild on the way I thought and everything too. But like, that's just how I was at that time of my period in my life and everything too. But
You've grown, my man.
yeah, I grew up a little bit.
Just a bit, man.
Yeah, just a bit. But like, me and his conversation never been a bad conversation. But you know, I feel like iron sharpen iron, and who you surround yourself with sharpen you. And like people don't know this. Like when I went to jail, I got locked up. Yeah, my family showed up in court, but Kendall was like the only friend that I had that was around here that actually showed up when I had just my bond hearing. And to be honest, like when I first got out, I think that was the first stop I made. My mom dropped me off over there, and we had like just the realest conversation, because Kenny and Kendall, I feel like, bro, like if somebody come up and ask them about like that whole situation, they're like, I don't know, that's my friend, so you ain't gonna talk about him like this. But I know him and everything else too, and I respect him for that, and I thank him for that, because, you know, I ain't never had to question shit. Never had to question shit. And that's why I'm really excited to get y'all on the show, because like, just about our relationship alone, even though we don't hang out like we used to. I don't play 2K like that no more. And I'm no, because obviously I'm trash right now because I haven't played in a long time. But if you give me 2 months to practice, we can go my my player mode or whatever, and I guarantee you.
But you need 2 months to practice?
Yes.
No, you real 2K player, you need that much time?
No, look, to be honest, I know I know how the game goes when I go over to the house. And you know what I'm saying, our GM mode are the legendary GM modes, because like we all have competitors teams competing for championships. We build our roster right. But man, so back to this. I just really want to know. I know, because I look at it like this. Back in my life, I ain't always been the best person or best friend, or like my ego got away in front of a lot of stuff. But this is a personal question. Why do you stay friends and loyal to me during the times where I was seeing like I was more about myself than everything else?
Honestly, man, I base my circle on people whose their heart It's more like a heart or spiritual thing. I never felt like your intentions were to threaten me or any kind of form of fashion. So I knew your intentions were always good. You know, I can't judge a person on their actions because I don't know what you're going through.
Facts.
We had enough moments and times, conversation allowed me to think, okay, like he's cool peoples. I don't agree with everything he does. It's not my business, but our friendship is solid from the jump. So I'm always about trying to help someone. So you came to me for help sometimes. So I was there for you. I likewise, same to you. So
good conversations.
Yeah, man, it's good conversation, good vibes, man. Like I don't think anyone's action should ever be their definition of that person. I always knew Chris does have a very good heart, a very good intentions majority of the time. So, that's really why I stay solid to you, man. And like I always say, much love to you, man.
Appreciate it. What about you, Kenny?
I mean, like I was glad to see him like have his own like people, his own crowd.
Yeah.
So for me, if you came in the spot, then he was little bro, then you was little bro too until you did some like stupid shit. So, but you was cool. I mean, so I was cool with you.
Facts. Thank you. I ain't gonna cry.
No.
I promised myself I wasn't gonna cry. But no, all right. So, as far as like going on in the future wise, do y'all believe your basketball love would lead y'all to coaching or anything?
For me?
Both of y'all, because to be honest, I feel like a lot of people can learn a lot from y'all, just not even just as a game in the game of basketball, but
I'm never gonna sit here and say it couldn't happen. As of right now, I just don't see that being something that I would do. Only because there's a lot of things I'm more, engaged in right now in life, to where it's just not really my forte. And then I know that to teach someone something, you have to really
be patient.
Be patient and be invested into it. You can't teach someone while you're kind of dabbling in other things you're more invested in. So, looking at the game of basketball right now, some coaches are just not coaching the game correctly, in my opinion. So I don't ever want to go in that route and do the same and cheat no kid who could possibly be the next star or whatever. So to answer the question right now, probably not. Maybe whenever I'm older, who knows?
What about you, Kenny? Because low-key, I look at a lot of these high school teams around here.
Kenny would be a great coach, though.
And they need. I'm looking at it as like, bro, they need a good coach that knows, like, hey, not going to just like cut somebody opportunity short because like you got play favoritism. Because I feel like when we grew up, there was a lot of favoritism on our basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
For what we achieved with all the bullshit we had to go through, I'm surprised we even achieved that. But it was a lot of bullshit, and I really feel like, us as growing up as more mature men would provide a better outlet for some of the kids. Because like by us going through that, I feel like y'all would like.
There's some homies of mine that shout out to the Pine Forest.
Basketball club. They doing real good. They doing real.
I know a lot of them over there. So
my cousin Ty McCann do anything.
As far as our generation, they're setting a pretty good example of what I would, if I was to be a coach, I would, say, hey, man, look for them over there. So, like I would always say about Kenny, man, like Kenny's genius. Like,
I mean, to shut y'all down, but I definitely won't be doing no coaching.
Well, you be behind the scene guy.
I'd rather deal with a person that's really like focused and know they really want to do something like that. I'm not into the finding someone or like grooming like everyone. I know a lot of people around the city that are like real smart.
Yeah.
And they still like at it, and to the point where they could just pick the game apart. So, you just send them to them, and then you, like you said, there's a good circuit of people around here that see that. It's like, hey, real player coaches that gone for a little bit or been around some people, you know what I'm saying? Been around some camps where it's just like, hey, I do know what I'm talking about, and this will get you here. So, yeah, I usher people, and you know what I mean? It's just something like specific. I'm pretty sure them people would hit me up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. But as far as that being my lane, that just ain't my lane.
Hear that?
So, as a brother, what's your favorite quality about your brother? One thing you love most like about your brother?
About my brother?
Yeah, like both of y'all. Like, what's the like? I ain't saying just label as one thing, but you know, what about your brother makes you like?
Dang, that's a tough one, man. It's a lot, obviously, that I love about my brother, but top of my head, just the way he loves our family, his way of loving our family is extremely powerful. I will say that it's extremely powerful. It is much needed. So, I took my time. I look up to him all the time. I'm never gonna stop looking up to him. So, just the way he chooses to love our family and love, me and the world, people around him is one of the best qualities I think right now. But it's a ton I can go down the line with for sure.
What about you, Ken?
He's stubborn. He's consistent though, and whatever you choose to kind of pay attention to, he can kind of be seen for that. So I mean, those are like strong qualities that he kind of like into like every day. And again, like he like real loyal. Sometimes a little too loyal at times. But
Yep.
like he real loyal. So all he has to do is just be on the right track and he's straight, man.
Hey, Kendall, you touched upon how your personal passions kind of intertwine with your work.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kenny, I'd like to hear like your creative process when it comes to your art, and like, how do you take the personal elements of yourself that you would like to represent and put it out on the canvas?
Finding your voice is like difficult for some people, and that you gotta go through like experiences. So for me, it was about all the experiences that I went through. Not playing ball anymore. I tore my Achilles, and a lot of folks around the city and tore them. Just like it's just stuff like that when you realize you ain't coached right, you don't have people around here to like really guide you through like the process of stuff that's not just on the court, and it's just all these things that kind of like whoa, life kicking in, and the decisions I made, they became like I had to make my own decisions sometimes to get the right fit for me. I couldn't listen to someone before me, like even my parents or just like certain mentors and stuff. Like I did best in life when I made my own decision. So my art career truly started here at UWF, and I came over here for, I think, graphic design to make some money. I was in high school. I was doing architectural design, and I was like, "Nah, that's cool." I always drew houses as a youngin', but they kind of ain't it. I know I'm eventually give it up because I just gave basketball up, so I can tell what's legit, what's not legit.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing graphic design. Came over here, jumped into those like under those little prereq courses,
undergrad.
Whatnot. Yeah. I had an instructor by the name of Marcia. She took me out to class, and she was like, "You're gonna be doing like hands-on like art and stuff, painting." So I was like, "Cool, I'll do it, whatever." Again, letting people kind of like move me along a little bit, but then it gets to a point where you try to make me go to a certain way, like I'll straighten up and like, "Nah, I got my own here." So the one thing I loved about it was I was allowed to like express things where I wasn't good at writing or I wasn't good at like vocally like just pronouncing or speaking certain things. Like the expression came out in like brush strokes. The expression came out in like quality of line and stuff like that. So for me, I really love the process of art. I see a lot in the process, not necessarily the image. And as of now, the image is starting to catch up with my process. But at that time, I met like a lot of great people here. Greg Saunders, world-renowned artist across the globe in New York. Right now, he'll be showing in New Orleans soon, and I'll be showing in New Orleans soon.
Okay.
At the Ogden Museum of Southern Art.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that journey was tough. I work right now. I work in crayons, and for me is I don't forget where I came from. So they told me if you had a choice, what would you make art with? And I was just like a crayon, cause that's like the G. That's the first thing I grabbed. You can't do nothing else but hit this crayon. Don't color on my wall.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean? So, when you couldn't go outside and hoop, that's what I did. So I grabbed that and I was like, man, I'm about to just everything that y'all doing, I'm about to do it with a crayon. Yeah. And so now, that's what I do now. So my voice is find out what you find whatever is like a means to no end for you. Find whether you can explore different awarenesses and whatever like that. That way they take you out of mental ruts and stuff. I'm very like focused on like the mind and then the feelings and the thoughts and stuff like that, and being able to jump in and jump out. Like some would call it like an out of body experience, but when I started dabbling into like weed and all that type of stuff, I didn't feel the same as other people would say.
Yeah.
They got high and did whatever. I'd be like, I finally kind of like leveled down a little bit, and now I can actually go do some stuff. So weed was like a little different for me when I like got with other people, but it's things like that like, oh, that's a connection. Now can you use that in your art? Now I'm explaining things. I'm explaining stuff to kids with my art. Let my art support what I'm talking about. I can tell you how to get out of a situation real quick and tell you how to get in a better one, and I can show you on a piece of paper better than I can tell you though.
Yeah.
I hear that. And before we get into the next question, please shout out your Instagram page if you got one for your art.
Pablo _ painter.
Yeah.
Pablo _ painter.
Yeah.
All right. And you know, with mental health becoming a bigger scope in our world today, you know, one of the biggest things that they tell you is to try and find like an outlet for you to express your pain. Do you feel like art is like the biggest and easiest thing for you to express that?
No, damn sure ain't the easiest. But, it's the biggest. Meaning, I can fall as hard as I can soar in that space.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me the boundaries are like beyond a lot of the stuff that I would jump in and like conceive. So if the boundaries are like real far there, then I know I got a lot of room to like grow. I know I can go places. I know I can explore some things. So for me, like my task and my goal to myself is to like to go beyond like culture.
Okay.
I don't think of culture in a certain type of way. So for art, it's like I can bomb here, or I can like soar here to the point where you see artists do that. That don't make sense in this time, but it may make sense later on. And I don't care if I'm in the right time or if I'm not in the right time. A lot of people will see what I'm talking about when I'm doing what I'm doing.
Facts. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just over here like everybody doing it. I'm meditating. Look, but nah, all right. So I understand the part with like it's timeless, cause like, but one, it's like I feel like the main. Correct me if I'm wrong. The main influence behind your painting is mostly your family, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like. All right, this is one painting I always had a
Family
question.
in general.
Family
so
in general.
It ain't got to be my family. It can be your family. It can be what you tied to. It can be what you consider family.
Yeah.
It ain't just blood. I bet you consider a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of things like just close to you that ain't blood. So once you kind of bring that into your circle, you know how to relate to that. You know how to move around that. That's what I'm trying to get out. You get to that space, you ain't really worried about a lot of shit in life. You're going to get through it because it's like, I got the support system and I'm a piece to my support system. If I drop it, they may drop, so I got to keep it up. And then if I start to slip, they going to make sure I don't slip. So you gotta find your pieces to the puzzle. And family, however you want to look at it, what you consider your family, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, the one pain I always want to know. I know it's the one with Kendall. Like, was it Kendall where he was, or that was you? It was like in the Garden of Eden or something.
Oh, this guy.
That was I was like, look, because
What are you
look,
talking about? Yeah.
you know the pain I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So look, I always be looking at it. I'm like, is he in the Garden of Eden? Look, it had me. It makes me think because it's a layer. I don't know. Can you tell me? Because look, it's been blowing my mind for like ever since I seen it.
Oh my goodness.
So like, I just need to know like.
So at that time, I was reading a lot of different Bibles. I was going through a lot of different apocryphas and whatnot, and understanding the symbolism as far as that I could see. And I kind of got caught up in like holding up other people's symbolism or what I would call myself, what I was dealing with at the time, and it was also homage to some of them, like I think Waterhouse. He's an awesome artist, but like it was just pointing the way out the forest. It ain't got to be like Eden, I guess, but it was just coming out of the forest. It was the higher thought. I was the man, I was the thought, and you had two women at the bottom that was in the water. Those were the different feelings that I'm kind of pulling away from. So in certain mythologies, it's almost like nymphs.
Yeah, and in Greek mythologies, like the mermaids and stuff, like sirens.
Some close to sirens or whatever like that.
Shout
and
out to Greek mythology.
Like, plus, it was just huge. It was 8 foot. It was 8 foot painting. So I just needed something to like
fill the space.
I needed a challenge.
Yeah, and look, that one I used to always look at. I was like, cause look, honestly, I was like, bro, I seen the Bible, I see like the Odyssey and all the different shit. I was like, bro, bro, when I used to take Greek mythology, that's around the time you had your show over here, and we came to see it and everything.
But they pushed it heavy
Yeah,
here.
I could tell because Argos, Argonauts, Greek. Yeah, but no, like I used to always wonder. It was like the combinations of different things, and it was just like different to me. So I was like, it's always stuck in the back of my head. So as brothers, I could tell like y'all are your own individual people. But I know some people and brothers, they be like, oh, you gotta be just like me. But what would you say about like finding your place as individuals in like the same? Because some people like expect, all right, yeah, you supposed to be just like your brother or something like that. A lot of people throw that in your family, like,
Yeah, I wrongfully did them like that for like a long time.
Oh, you did?
Like I'd be like, what you want to do? Once you tell me, then I'll be like, I'll push everything that I was aware of on you. Yeah. And that kind of like don't help. That'll burst.
I think like growing, like I said, like for years, like that was just the label I had, not intentionally, but your Kenny's little brother. He wasn't like trying to push that on me, but but I wasn't really hanging around people my age at the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I never did. I was around my brother. We were in a very tight knit family, a large family, but very tight knit. We're all about help a brother out, help a cousin out. So it was natural for me to be with him at a younger age, and then grow up with him. So I, in a sense, grew up around his friends. They were like my older brothers too. So like I don't think I found myself until like college.
Yeah.
I would really say I became like not Kenny's little brother.
You made your own wave part.
And that happens when you go through your own situation in life. You're not gonna learn who you are until you by yourself. That's my understanding of life. I mean, you gotta be by yourself to figure it out. Because he gave me all kinds of knowledge, but it didn't click until I'm by myself. Until I had to use the tools he gave me. The same with your parent. With a child, my parent gonna teach you how to walk, do these things, but they can't walk for you. You gotta do it on your own. So becoming your own person just happens when you're on your own, finding your own friend group, your own people who you feel trust me. I guess we can say safe around or whatever. So that kind of happens then. Now, I don't know, man. I enjoy being by myself sometimes. It's just
trust
I've always
me.
been. So, like you said, I know I can always go back to him or to him at any point in my life. I know it's nothing to go to him for that. So, it's just easier now to be my own person, just through life circumstances and stuff.
What's your perspective on, like individuality, and especially you, Kenny, trying to toe that line between, mentoring him and allowing him to be his own person? Because as an older brother, sometimes I see my little brother go through the exact same scenarios I was in, but at the time I didn't have nobody to lean on for guidance. So, sometimes I'm not trying to force my way on him, but it's like I'm just trying to give him those little pieces of advice to help him navigate it easier. How long did it take you to kind of like find that right balance?
But a couple years removed, like it hasn't been long. But I say, how about this? When I finally like broke away and on my own for real, then I understood how to deal with them. I was like, oh, when I start getting the pieces fully together, like I get it. You gonna go through it. I'm gonna give you something to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you pick it up, you pick it up. If it get too dangerous, I'm gonna come snatch you up. But if it don't get too dangerous, then it's just like go through it. I mean, you may fall flat. Like, and I'm not gonna give you an idea. You gonna have to come up with your own idea. That way, you truly become an individual.
Yeah.
If I give you ideas,
You're just a
you're just
duplicate.
gonna use mine, and then if they start to work, you're just gonna keep coming back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good that they want to rebel because they want to be unique. They want to be original. They don't want to do exactly what you want to do. I think the difficult part when you start looking at your little brother in them circumstances, you got to read, are you doing this just to be an individual, or you just catering to, like, I don't know, some crazy ass desire that you just can't get off right now. You just really want to do it real bad. So once I was like able to kind of look at the difference, you just can't get out your mind. You just really got to scratch that itch on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that ain't all that bad, or you ain't gonna die from it. So do what you do. But you know what I mean. Other than that, I mean, I'm gonna help you out. So he just really had to do his thing. And I tell him right now, hey man, you might want to think about this. I give you a question. You do what you do. I'm just saying that's something to think about, and I just let him go from there.
Yeah,
that's right.
I just go over there and get my eye fucked.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, what do you mean?
It's like I think, like as a younger brother, you're like the way you see his life is like you always see the people around you. Like you see all the people around you who are like catering to you because you're the youngest, and so you internally know you're never gonna be out of someone's hands. You're always gonna be around someone who's gonna help you. So like growing up, I was like, all right, man, like I want to do my own thing, but I want to cater to what everyone's around me tell me to do. So with me and him, like we bumped heads when we were kids. Like when we were kids, we were not always, kumbaya and whatever. But
I think that works because, like, when me and my sisters, like me and my older sister, we fought. We was just 2 years apart. Yeah. But like my little sister, she got that 10-year age gap between us, and like the relationship between me and my sister that fought are like, oh yeah, we can have our arguments and disagreements, but at the end of the day, it's like that respect thing. Yeah. Like, bro, we went to battle. She beat my ass. Yeah. Well, actually, she went to battle. I just stood there and took the punches. I couldn't. I was scary. I was a wimp. But but my little sister is just like, it's just like this distraught. Like, bro, you ain't really been through nothing. So why are you gonna try to tell me something or deal? And it's just like,
I mean, look, if it don't make sense, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's how you gotta play it. Look, I'm gonna ask you a question. Does this add up? If it don't add up, then you're gonna realize you're doing something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you can make it make sense on all levels across the board, and it's still different from how I would do it or how any else would do it, go for it.
Yeah, I like now. Oh my God, I love when me and him like don't agree to something. Like I
exactly.
I love it because
like you show you a different viewpoint. Like,
it's like now I get to go to someone who is gonna tell me their authentic opinion of it, their beliefs of it. He ain't gonna never, come at me any differently. But It's like, no, this is how I'm seeing this issue, and this is how I feel like we should, go towards it or approach it, whatever. And he's like, well, have you thought of it this way? And it's like, oh, well, everything else you told me since I've been a kid, like, never steered me wrong, so I can trust your words now, along with my own views as well. So even if I don't, in a sense, agree to his, suggestion or opinion, it's like I can still use something out of it, to help me now as a man of my own now. So I think I just, for any younger brother, or young still going out there, man, like, do you. Don't ever not do what you feel to do, but understand your older sibling probably giving you some words of wisdom. So I'm all about growth now. Like, as a therapist, I'm all about preaching about growth. If it's gonna help you grow, do it. If it's not gonna help you grow,
Don't do it.
don't do it. It's simple as that, plain. So if he's giving you knowledge that's gonna help you grow, why not take it in? Even if you don't agree to it, you should still take it. It's gonna help you grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If he's, trying to do that. So as a younger sibling, I'm all about him because he just helps me in a sense grow as a man of my own. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that playing off into like our friendship and everything too, because we don't agree about everything. Me and him, like me and Kendall, we got like our own viewpoints. Sometimes he get frustrated at me and he yells at me. He tries to abuse me and he yells at me and everything. But like, it's like one thing I learned about us, we're all our own individual. With every person that we call friends, we're all our own individual. We got similarities that we're bonded by, but our differences is what make us who we are, and different viewpoints, different standpoints, and everything. Yeah, it's all over the place, to be honest, when it comes to different things. But like, I appreciate them for their differences because it gives me a different perspective. Because especially with everything I got going, it's like, all right, so I know somebody else that watching this is going to be thinking something like this. So how do I communicate? Well, I'm trying to communicate to them in the way they perceive stuff. And like I say, it really is like iron sharpen iron. Like, you can't be going through like have the people that have the same viewpoint as you and expect to get something different, because most of them become yes men, and then they don't see things different. They don't give you this perspective, and then boom, you fucked up, and you're like, bro, what the fuck?
I would tell you, but I don't deal with yes men. There's not the kind of people who I want to be around. I need someone who can tell me no flat out. Like, if you can tell me no or tell me like that ain't it,
I'll tell you this stupid.
I'm rocking with it, because it's like, all right, cool, because you making me either look a certain different, and it's on me to make the decision to look at it differently. If I choose not to, and I go down a road where it's unhealthy for me, then I have no one to blame. Myself. But if he just told me no, and it was like, hey man, I've been through that, I'm trying to tell you no. I need to be the man that's in here to say, okay, it may hurt my feelings, but the proper answer probably no. You know what I'm saying? So it's same with me and Chris, man. Like, there's times when Chris will check me sometimes, or like, yo man, that ain't it.
He checked me too.
I gotta listen to Chris, because I trust his words. So it's like, vice versa. In anyone in your circle, I think our family, me and him, have learned that your circle can either diminish or grow at any point in your life. It always adding and subtracting, but whoever's in that circle should be able to tell you no and yes at any time of form of affection. You should be able to accept it.
Absolutely. I feel like authenticity is very important in your personal relationships, because if you don't have the authenticity, then you don't have that room to grow.
Right.
And like, even those different opinions, even if you don't agree, it still allows you to get like a nuanced perspective, so you can step into something else with a better idea, a better mindset,
and better viewpoint. Yeah. Well, so wait, I know you always go to him for advice, but Kenny, do you ever go to Kendall for advice?
Yeah, on how to relate to people, because I kind of come off abrupt sometimes, and I got friends that kind of come off.
I like it. Hey, I appreciate it, because low key, I'll be like, Kenny thinks the way I think.
Not even like that. Like, sometimes I don't really have the words, just because I don't have enough conversations. I know he talk, relate, fumble, know how to carry himself, know what to say or whatever like that. So there's a downside when your main form of expression is like art, and you not communicating face to face
Vocally,
with a lot of people. So he do that. Like I told you, he's stubborn on the way he do things, but he's real consistent and he know how to be seen for that. So him being able to be that social butterfly in a sense, a lot of times, but still be like, yo, like I don't have to jump in these crowds. Like I know how he moves. So him being able like to hit both sides like that, I'll come to him for that. But like yeah, you whatever field you operate well in, I'll listen to you. You just when I'm doing this over here, can't nobody tell me what to do over here.
Oh, that's your I already know. So Kendall, do you check on your brother? Like, cause like I know he check on you. You check on him, like hey bro, you straight, everything. Call him. Cause look, I call you most of the time, like bro, how your mental state? Cause like I'm saying, cause I do that with everybody. Kenny, I ain't called you, cause low key I be thinking like Kenny don't want to talk to me right now. Cause I'm like Kenny will be like, what you want, Chris? So low key, I don't call you like that, but like
It's a thought that matters.
Yeah, it's a thought that matters, cause I feel like it's real important to check on like family in general, because in my own way. Yeah. I don't really have to call and talk to him.
Like, hey man, how you doing? Type of situation. Or where's your mental state? I guess because he's my brother, I kind of know
telepathy.
How to talk to him in our own language in a sense. But yeah, I check on him, man. Especially after you guys were growing up. I do. I check in.
No, I'm not talking about that. Is that how people like check on each other now? Like, what's your mental state?
Not because me and Kendall, conversations be.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, because all right, since like I know I went through a lot of depression, and Kendall went through his own source of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I call him half the time first, if I know he's gonna be short-winded with me because he's busy as shit already. I'm trying to make sure like how you mentally doing, bro, because I feel like not a lot of people check on your mental state.
I think we just we say what? Are you good?
I know, but look, like everybody say you good and you be like, yeah, I'm straight.
But it's
like
it goes from there then.
I know, but like because I won't be. I'm not like everybody else. You know this. I'm unique. I'm my own person. So first thing I do when I call him, I say, yo, what's up, bro? How your mental state? So like if he's straight, anything, cause like you could be good, like if you say how you doing, that'll make it be just like how's your day going. I want to know how your mental state going, cause like really, a lot of people don't check on people's mental health and stuff, and like knowing that I've been through it, and a lot of people go through it, and friends, especially friends I know been through mental depression and everything. I want to say, bro, how are you doing? Cause if you need to talk to me, I'm trying to like, yo, I'm here. Yeah. So
I mean, for me, like that's one thing I do value about Chris for sure. Like when he asked me that question, like not everyone knows the awareness to ask a person, how's your mental state?
Yeah.
Now, with my brother, I ask that question in a different manner.
Yeah.
I can read his body language, something of that nature. That's my brother, so I know those things. But like, like you're saying, like there's some people you need to ask that question. Like, yo, what mental space are you in right now? Before I ask this next question, because
sometimes you're too busy.
This may not go the way I'm anticipating it going. If it's in a different manner. So, like it's an important question. I think I asked that question. He asked that question about me too, in his own form of fashion. But I think we do it by like space. We operate in certain spaces. So if he's doing his artwork, I don't really too much. That's he in his zone. He's like, bro. Yeah, if I see him, I go, it's cool, whatever. If he, chop it up, cool. But I know he's working on a piece. Typically, I'm not really gonna do too much. I'm gonna like let him do his thing until he comes to me. Yeah. And I think he gives me the same respect as well. Like if he knows I'm, doing my own thing, chances are he may call or whatever. But I think I'm not sure other people, but for me and him's relationship is definitely like just a known connection.
Energy his energy level.
Like I make sure he's straight, right? Like what? We'll do like little if something's going on as far as connection wise. I ain't gotta really ask him no questions. Like he playing chess or whatever like that. So I know he ain't dead. He acting. Because I'm hitting him up every day and stuff like that. And if I need to like talk to him, like I'll talk to him. So it's just like little stuff like that. If it get to be like 2-3 days,
You ain't heard from him.
That's some weird shit. 2 days is like.
It's like you gotta know your personnel.
Yeah.
Know your personnel. That's why I say like really. I really looked at like me and Kendall's relationship, like friendship and everything, and like even with you, Kenny, and everything too. I compared it to basketball, because like if you know your personnel, you know their tendencies, you know what they do. Yeah. As long as you know your personnel, like you should know when something out of whack. If you pay attention, because like I know where his hot spots at. I know where everything. I know what he's gonna do. I know where I need to be at. I know where the shot's gonna come off at. It's just by spending time and just actually, watching and getting to know them. And I know like when somebody's gonna teach, like life is like a game of basketball, like a game of chess, however you want to put it. But when whoever you're in your team, you need to know who they are, because they got to know how you move, you got to know how they move, so you know accordingly they position that they play in your life and how they're gonna. You're basically trying to win the game. You're trying to score.
Yeah, I mean,
put the basket in the hole.
I feel like everyone, as you get, as I'm getting older, I'm learning. I keep saying that a lot, but my uncle always told me like, as you get older, you'll learn. It's a true statement. You can experience things in life, but until you get to a certain age, you don't quite understand it. So now I understand like everyone does serve a purpose, and so my brother's purpose in my life is defined. I know the purpose of it. I know what he is there for. It is the range of it is a lot farther than some people in my life, but he has his purpose, and I have my purpose in his life, and same with friendship. Yeah. Hey man, I don't need to go to Chris about certain things. He's probably won't have that answer for me. I won't have that connection for me. Nothing personal, just his purpose is not there. So, but I know when I do go to Chris for that certain thing, it's like he never dropped the ball. He's always there, always on time for it. And same like with me and him. Same for me and him. So yeah. Well,
I have to learn like in the last couple of years, like really mastering finding myself. So I don't really be around people like that. Like if you ever see me on campus, like before, like recently, I was doing podcasts and everything. I was like, bro, if you see me on campus, that's probably the time you see me. Then after that, it would be like in the gym, because like I had to go through a period of time where, like, I went from this person I thought I was, and having this whole perspective be pushed upon other people about me. And I had to really find myself and really had to learn, like, hey, I'm not what people claim me to be. I had learned, like, people's opinions didn't matter. So I built my body physically. And then, like, while me doing that, I also learned how to build myself mentally and learn how to be alone. And, like, now it's kind of weird because I'm trying to get back to the point where I can, like, be around people now. And, like doing podcasts is one thing, like, great and everything, going out and everything. Like, even recently, like, me just went out to the bar last night. But, like, I will go out now. I'll be, like, the only person I'll go out by myself. Because I'm like, I'll be here. And then I'm like, bro, why the fuck I'm here? And then I'm like, bro. And, like, I got to a place, like, really, if I go out and, like, I don't like it, like, I feel like I'm fully drained. Like, I don't want to do shit for, like, the next 2 or 3 days. I'm in my bed, I'm asleep. I might go to the gym, that's it. But, like, the one thing I really appreciate, like, like, people give me the space to actually grow as a person. Like, I appreciate that. Because, like, that same way that Kenny explained that to you, like, hey, you had a gift and you had to give you a space so you can master your stuff. Like, I really feel like nowadays, like, after being through what I've been through and finding really more out by myself than ever, like, I'm more understanding.
Hi, Argos. We are all in this
Fucking
together.
shit.
Let's keep each other safe.
I was gonna warn y'all.
I know. I was looking at it too. I was like trying to make sure.
Thank you.
But no. Don't worry. We about to go.
No, I don't mean to suck you, but
No, really about to cut off anyway because I got another interview at 6:20.
Cool.
So anyway, but no. But yeah, I just want to say appreciate y'all's friendship. Appreciate y'all's like brothers and everything. And appreciate being able to come and talk to y'all whenever. And Kenny, thank you for answering my phone call. Cause I low key thought you wasn't gonna answer. I called you, answer. I said, holy Kenny.
Something to do. I know another Tamarius. I was just like,
Wait, someone else named Taramis?
Terrence.
Wait.
It's spelled the same way and everything.
No, for real.
At my job.
For,
I was just like,
no, hey, don't say that.
crazy.
No, you fucking lying. don't do it, Kenny.
But-
I've been saying I'm the one and only.
Well, like I saw it and I was like, it's something about like work. I was subbing for like the art class.
Oh,
And I was like, you know, I could just like hold on because I've done it before.
Yeah.
I was like, Boykins. I was like,
wait.
that's Chris, because you don't come up as Chris
Oh yeah, true
on
that.
my phone. I was like,
That's my alias name, everybody. But damn, wait, for real? There's somebody else on my name?
What's your name, man?
Sorry.
I call him T.
You gonna have to change that handle, man.
Bro, I've been calling myself T lately. I've been going by T. Tell him he got to get the fuck up out of. Hey,
They got like 5 different names.
no, I've been going.
Every era he got a new nickname, man. Like
500 different names.
And that remind me of like my homeboy. If y'all need like stock advice,
Yeah.
what's broke homie Quan?
Broke homie.
Yo, he got like a bunch on. I can't remember all these, but they would change
Every
when the hottest artist was out or something big changed. He was it.
so they can find him.
You can find him.
Man, but look,
He did that.
damn. I googled it. I was the only person with my
It'll
name.
be alright, bro.
Google ain't gonna have you every time, bro.
It really
It's
ain't.
alright though.
They drop the ball sometimes, bro.
Fuck Google. But nah, man. Man, I just want to say thank y'all for coming on. Hey, closing remarks though. Y'all got any closing remarks or anything you want to advice y'all can give to brothers that older brothers and younger brothers trying to feel each other out?
This is for anyone. Just take care of your mental space. Take care of your mind. Your body reacts to that. So if you take care of your mind, take care of your body, and just keep growing. As far as siblings, man, just love your sibling, bro. No matter what they tell you. They make them off harsh, but they love you. So.
Okay.
Don't get lost in your own mind.
Ooh.
I feel like that's a real thing. It happens a lot, and a lot of times that actually may be the problem. And as far as like pushing forward or whatever you do, just find out again what's a means to like not an end. And if you know you're gonna be doing it, you can look at yourself right now and see you just not gonna stop doing this particular thing. Go for it.
What about you, Eddie?
I'd just say surround yourself with authentic people, man. Because, like, even just from this short conversation, I could tell that y'all obviously been through a lot together. But at the end of the day, you know, that authentic bond allowed y'all to grow and overcome any adversity that y'all relationship probably had. So,
For sure.
keeping those right people around you.
Facts. Oh, well, for me, don't surround yourself with yes men. If your friends are, no, for real, if your friends are different, that's good. They don't got to be the same way. They ain't got to think the same way. They got to have their own little thing about them. Because if you got a whole bunch of yous walking around, who's going to be that person going to tell you no when you need to know no at the most? Sure. So find y'all some people that tell y'all no and stop being butthurt about somebody telling y'all no and just try to think why. And see other people's perspective over your own sometimes. But I want to thank everybody for coming on, and thank you all for tuning in for this episode of From Boys to Men. We'll be back y'all with another episode. Peace, love, and happiness.
For sure.